had enough rice. You didn't eat nothing.
Not yet. Maybe halfway through.
We're on.
We're on.
Well, how you doing, Mr. Sinclair?
Very good, Mr. Capel. How's your day?
It was rather warm, but dry, which is nice.
Yeah, for once.
Yeah, how was your day?
About the same.
About the same? Dry but nice?
Yeah, dry but nice.
Nova? Hey, Nova. How was your day, baby? You concur? All right. That's our tech man, Chris. That's his partner in crime and chaos, Miss Nova, little Western Shepherd. And we're going to get into some stuff tonight that I hope everybody saw my Facebook notification today. You might get some kind of idea about what different dogs can do. Nobody ever knew they could do, right?
Yeah.
Right. So.
No matter what size it is, right?
That's right. That's right. It ain't the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. Very old saying, but you can. If anyone wants to know what I'm talking about, if you didn't see the notice, you can go on my Facebook page, Butch Capel, and see me take on one of the baddest dogs on the planet. Just check it out. You'll see it when it comes up, like maybe on a feed or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the truth. Bad dog.
Bad. And I guess so. With no further ado.
Troy says hello, and the audio sounds great.
All right, that's what I was waiting to hear before we went any
Great job,
further.
Chris.
Good job, Chris. All right, so I guess we can crank it up, right? Get it ready to go. What do you think, Scott?
I think so.
It'll
be fine.
So the reason for this particular topic is some people for the last couple of weeks have sent me several questions about will this dog do bite work or that dog do bite work, and they've referred me to these folks who think they're professional working dog trainers. And I keep running across phrases like, well, the only two dogs that do military and police work are Mals and German Shepherds. And so if you don't have a Mal or a German Shepherd, your dog can't do protection work, right? And another thing I run into a lot is you got to have the genetics. They ain't gonna have a full mouth bite without the genetics, right? So, you know, I really wish our professional friends would research a little what of the topic that they're talking about before they talk about it.
Right.
Because I could be wrong, but I think there's some exceptions to those two rules. There's only two breeds that can do protection dog training, and it's all genetics. So we're going to look today about all the breeds and see if we can discover, with the help of our outstanding researcher and master librarian, Mr. Sinclair, we're going to look at the four major types of dog, the four dog types, and we're going to look and investigate their history and see what they might or might not be capable of. So, with no further ado, Scott, what do you think? What'd you run across?
Well, I came across a few breeds.
Few?
Few.
Yeah.
Just a couple.
But, not many.
The first one interested me was the Mastiff.
Good
It's
interest.
also known as the Old English Mastiff, and they boast an ancient heritage. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, very ancient.
Dogs were found in Britain at the time when the Romans invaded Britannica. They may have been brought over by the Phoenicians as early as 6th century BC. So that goes back quite a ways.
Yeah, that's older than my grandma.
That's old.
Yeah.
The Romans employed the dogs as guardians for their sheep, protectors of people, and war dogs in their legions.
Right.
You know, Mastiffs reportedly came over to America on the Mayflower in 1492. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
It's covering, Yep. They're here in America, Canada, and England. Very thorough. The dog's talents include guarding, police work, even search and rescue. And being a family.
Wait. Police work?
Yeah, police work.
You said, but they're not shepherds or Mals.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
And military work.
We just learned something. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was so shocked.
And I wrote this down as a caveat because what a lion is to a cat, a Mastiff is to the dog.
That's good. I like that. I like that. So yeah, they're obviously they've got a heritage back to 600 BC,
6th century BC, yeah.
where they were doing military work. So they also have genetics kind of leaning that way, right?
A little bit.
So,
Yeah,
and
you'd
I'll-
say so.
And I'll tell you, so what about personal protection? Well, everybody's heard of the lost city of Pompeii, you know, with the Vesuvius volcano, 760 AD or something like that. And one of the things they discovered is they unearthed that, chiseled out the lava and everything. In front of one of the houses, there was a stone, like a mat, a doormat on the outside, and it was engraved with the words Cave Canem, which in Latin means beware dog. So we know in Pompeii in 760, civilians had
Protection dogs.
protection dogs. And we also know, because of what you just said, that they didn't have a whole lot of mouths in Greece in 760, but they had the Mastiffs.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll tell you an interesting story on the Mastiffs. And I don't remember the dates on this, but like Scott said, they were brought over from England back to Rome. Phoenicians brought them there originally, and then the Romans tried several times to invade the British Isles. They conquered everything in the civilized world, but they could not conquer England. And the Roman general who got the furthest, I should have looked this up, I just thought about it. But anyway, the Roman general who got the furthest, the Romans were big on dogs. And they were invading, and they were just wiping out the Anglos, the tribes, the Saxon tribes that were protecting and that lived in England, and just decimating them because they're advanced weaponry.
Mm-hmm.
And most of these Saxons had dogs that worked the farm with them, and they were all Mastiffs, forward bearers of our English Mastiff. And Rome went in far enough, the Saxons would burn the ground in front of them so that there was no supplies for the army to live off the land. And they got so many 100 miles inside the British Isles, and they ran out of supplies. And they had to turn around and go back. And unfortunately, yeehaw! That's our flycatcher dog. Sorry, if you see something dart by real quick, you know, Scott left the window open.
Yeah.
So they say it took them like 3 months to get into the British Isles.
Mm-hmm.
It took them 6 months to get out, and they almost starved to death because all of these Saxons had big Mastiff dogs that they used on the farm. And these dogs had sat over their masters' bodies, guarding them for months. And as the army came back and passed their dead masters, these dogs were attacking the Roman legions.
Picking them off.
So that's also when the Romans started taking as many of these dogs as they could capture, and they brought them back to originally fight in the Colosseums. And then, of course, they inducted them into the Roman army. So little Mastiff history. I can't believe they were actually military dogs.
Yeah.
Who'd have known? What else you got there, Scott?
Well,
Interesting.
The weight ranges, everybody knows, are big dogs. 170, the males and females both, 175 to 190 pounds. Their height at the withers, which is the crop,
Shoulders.
is usually 31 inches. That's average, I would say at best. They're bigger than that.
Yeah.
There's one on the wall there I think it's more than that.
Oh, Mick right up there, yeah. Mick was 34.
Yeah. So the lifespan of these dogs
Ain't very long.
is 8 to 10 years. And if y'all get one, buy earplugs because they snore a lot.
Very good information.
That's true.
What else we get?
Well, we got a few examples of Mastiff breeds.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Like-
because Mastiff is covers a lot of territory, doesn't it?
Yeah. Even if a dog is called a Mastiff, it doesn't mean they're in the same family. It's not like a streamlined Shepherd or a Doberman. It's a whole family of dogs, but they're called Mastiff. Every country I've researched, there's English Mastiffs, Korean Mastiffs,
Italian.
Tibetan Mastiffs, Doge de Bordeaux, that's a French dog,
Yeah.
the Mastiff from
Yep.
France. They got the Bulicata from India, and of course the American Mastiff. And most of these dogs all have the same, they're independent, reserved, confident, good-natured, you know, and they have a lot of similarities, but they're different at the same time.
Yeah.
So
And then obviously this was taken by a newspaper when all there was black and white film, so we had a little history with Mastiffs and Danes, and I can vouch for their wonderful dogs to live with. What do you got there, Carol Ann?
Carrie said that King Corsos are Mastiffs.
Who said?
King Corsos, Carrie.
Oh, she listening in on us?
Yes.
Yeah, Scott mentioned literally every country had their own Mastiff in Europe in the old world, because they all used them for the same thing: war, police work, and farm animals protection. And in Italy they have two Mastiffs. They have the Neapolitan and they have the recreated Cane Corso. The Cane Corso of today, which has become very popular, and I will add, Jay Wilson, Sempre Kennels down there outside Austin with his Cane Corsos. Someone told Jay when I met him years ago that he came up here with a puppy, and somebody told him, well, that Cane Corso can't do protection training, it's not a Malinois. And that's why he drove from Austin to here to meet me. And anyone who thinks a Cane Corso is not a protection dog,
come talk to me.
yeah, and I'm sure Jay would volunteer gladly a dog to let you test out and see what you think of a
Well,
140 pounds.
on your arm.
Latching, yeah, with a skull about 2 feet wide, latching onto your arm and see.
Right.
But yep, that's the Neapolitan Mastiff and the Cane Corso are the two Mastiffs of Italy. What we got, Carol Ann?
Rick Dunham said the Bordeaux are one of his favorite Mastiffs.
The Bordeaux.
Uh-huh.
Yep, they're beautiful dogs.
Yeah, Dog de Bordeaux.
Dog de Bordeaux,
Yeah. If anyone ever saw the movie, I think it was Turner and Hooch.
Mm-hmm.
That was a Bordeaux. And they're the reddish with the smash face looking dog. And I had one only that I've ever worked in protection training. He competed in the Canine Pro Sports trial. I forget when. Karsten Skalls in Denmark. Had a wonderful Bordeaux, wonderful dog. And he competed, and let me tell you, that dog, not only was his obedience great, but his bite work was really superior to most a lot of the dogs we see today in the herding attack. Which,
Yeah.
you get anything on what'd you get besides Mastiffs? I can talk about Mastiffs all day. Folks.
Yeah.
What
I
else?
started looking at terriers.
Ooh, yeah, barnyard ninjas.
Terriers that existed since. Oh, go ahead. Ryan, continue. You got a question?
Rick said it's not the French one, it's the South African pronounced Boro Bull.
Oh, he's talking about Borbles.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Rick. The way Carol Ann pronounced it, I wasn't sure. Yeah. Borbles. Yes. They're supposed to be the Argentine Borbal. No, Brazilian. They are supposedly the baddest guard dogs, natural guard dogs on the planet Earth, and they just look like a giant bloodhound. And that's what they're descendants of the Spanish bloodhound, which Columbus had brought into that part of the world, in the 1400s, and used to kill native peoples is what he used them for.
Right.
So Borbles are amazing dogs. Rick, forget Harris. I think it's Richard Harris up in Kansas. His Borbles herd cattle, do protection work. Great dogs. What else? Now let's go to terriers.
Terriers.
Hello, Nova.
So terriers have existed since ancient times. They're recorded at least even in the Middle Ages. They appear on paintings, old documents. They're very well recorded. The breed was built to hunt vermin and holes in the ground. Henceforth, terrier, terra, the Latin word meaning earth, which to the dog is, goes in the ground.
Yeah.
Although they exhibit a lot of the same traits, these dogs here are all different sizes. They're just, strong prey drive, tenacity. I mean, they're good at that. So the terrier breed is made up of 3 subgroups. The working terriers, like I said, are bred to go in the holes.
Jack Russells.
Right. Then you got your toy terriers, which were bred to be reduction in size to be household pets.
Boston Terriers.
Then you
Little
got
Bostons.
your bull type terriers, which take terriers and then mix them with bulldogs and whatnot.
Spuds McKenzie.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
And they're all, you know, if you look at that video I put up today, it's a Jack Russell Terrier that's attempting to, what would you call, spay or neuter me?
right?
Attempting to neuter me on the spot. I mean, there ain't nothing tougher than a terrier. That's, you know, and they bred these terriers back to bulldogs to get the bull terriers for fighting. And that's what they do. You know, they are tremendous fighters. The dogs are determined. They don't quit. They don't feel pain when they're excited. And they make really good protection dogs, even the little bitty ones.
Courageous dogs too.
Yeah.
Courageous.
Yeah.
We got a few examples of some of these breeds. Like they call them the king of the terriers, the Airedale.
Airedale, very good.
Airedale
Yeah.
Terriers. You know, we got your American Stafford Terrier.
Staffordshire Terrier.
Staffordshire Terrier.
Yes.
Everybody knows what that is. So, then the dogs don't do bite work either. Yeah. You know, the Dandy Dentmont Terrier.
Oh yes, that is a pretty dog. He doesn't do bite work much.
Jack Russell.
Yeah.
My favorite, the Rat Terrier.
Yep.
And you know, Smooth Fox Terriers from Europe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a few, you know, breeds there.
And they, you know, we always, in today's modern world, we always think of Germany as like the birthplace of all the working dogs in the world. But like the Danes, Great Danes, Shepherds, Rottweilers, these dogs were perfected in Germany centuries ago, but they all came from England. I will stick my neck out here and say that England has probably contributed more to the dog world, the big dog, working dog world, than any country.
Mm-hmm.
Because you think of that list he just read off, they're all originally from England. And then you have the English Mastiffs that the Romans took back to Italy and all those places, and they influenced the creation of all the other Mastiffs.
They're like the base of the family tree.
Yeah, probably the English Mastiff and the Tibetan Mastiff are our two oldest. Then you have the Jack Russell Terrier. You have the Bulldog, which is a Mastiff that they rebred for a specific task,
Mm-hmm.
and they bred them to a Terrier. So, you know, hats off to the Union Jack boys. They've contributed a lot to our working dog world.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. What else you run across?
Well, I was interested. I said herding dogs, the herder breeds. You know, I just read up on those guys too. They've been tracked as far back as in the 1500s when they would assist the shepherds, because back then they didn't have fences. A lot of people didn't have horses, so they had dogs to corral their animals and protect the animals from themselves and obstacles, and to protect from predators. So they're actually protecting from predators too. So they must be biting.
Oh gosh, you think they could bite something? Oh, that's right. That's a shepherd and a Mallow. So of course they're biting.
Mm. But what's funny about that is though, they're considered this breed here. These herder breeds intelligent. Considered one of the most intelligent, if not the most intelligent breeds. Athletic, alert, and loyal dogs, you know, around.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, here's a few of the breeds of the herding dogs.
What would that be?
So basically, an Australian cattle dog, blue heelers,
Yep.
you know, Australian shepherds,
Of course. Everybody knows how smart they are.
and me, I like Beaucerons.
French breed, by the way.
Yeah.
Beautiful dogs.
And there's, you know, Belgian Malinois, German Shepherds, you know, Pembroke Welsh Corgis too. In that too.
You want to meet the one breed overall that's tougher than a pit bull? Corgis. Corgis and healers.
Yep. Bermasco sheepdogs.
Which ones?
Bermasco.
Bromasco.
Yeah, they look like they had braids on them. They're from Italy.
Oh. Let me see here. I got to check his notes here. You sound like the Commodore?
Yeah, the Bermasco. Bergamsco, excuse me, I pronounced that wrong.
Huh.
Yep.
You went on me.
Yeah. And, you know, Finnish lap huns, you know,
Yep.
Swedish fin huns. So, You know, it kind of reminds me of all these different countries have all these dogs, like all the Mastiffs in every country. And it seems to me that those dogs are all bred for a purpose to their dog, cattle. But overall, what I've been reading is that no matter what they're bred for, whether it's chasing rats out of a hole, in the end, they're always, it's just protect the domicile and the family, no matter what breed it is. So
Yep.
I guess that solves that riddle.
Yeah, and here, I'm glad you brought that part up, because here's something that, oops, we got a question, Carol Ann?
No, a statement.
Statement.
From Linda Snyder said, blue heelers are very protective, good guard dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, healers are bad dudes, let me tell you. I had cause to be in my guard dog company to be checking out, looking for a lost dog one night. Well, one night, it was like 3 or 4:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I heard a dog that was next to this business. And I thought it was my guard dog, and I jumped the fence and whistled and was greeted by 2 little blue heelers. And fortunately, it was wintertime. I had on a long johns, I had on thick coat, and I had on basically a lot of clothes. The clothes were no good after I climbed back over the fence. But yeah, healers are tough little monsters. They really are. And there's one component that I don't hear anyone talk. If you go back, Scott has become a disciple of the Kohler method of guard dog training. The only thing written about guard dogs and protection dogs that I've ever run across, and as some of you have heard me say, I had a library once, almost probably 200 books, all dog books. I've only found one book ever written. There's people who claim they're, in the 90s it was popular to write a book about a police dog, but it really wasn't that, didn't say much about training. The only book I've ever heard written about how to literally train every type of dog used for security work was the Kohler method of guard dog training. And that's what I started on. Yeah. And we didn't even know what prey drive was. Mm-hmm. So what Mr. Kohler realized way back in the 50s, he was one of the first head trainers for the U.S. military after World War II. And what he recognized or realized was there's something called pack responsibility. Dogs are a pack animal, just like us. Their pack is their family, period. They know the rules of the pack, they follow the rules of the pack, they don't try to take over. But when the pack is threatened, they stand up for their pack, just like you would. They don't have a shotgun or a 38. They got some pretty powerful jaws. And one of the components that you'll find in all of these breeds, all of the breeds, is this sense of what I call pack responsibility. And that's what I try to trigger when I'm training a security dog. We try to use that sense of responsibility to get the dog out to do what he's naturally going to do. That way we don't have to force him into anything. And it's a combination of prey drive and defense drive. Don't get me wrong. Training them the modern way, prey drive, but with defense, is what makes really good dogs. And in fact, when they first came over here in 1972 with the Schützen trials, the German method then was balance, prey and defense. It was never just all crazy prey, crazy prey, crazy prey. So. Anyway, I hope this is informative. Obviously there's more than 2 breeds that can do protection training. What do you reckon?
I reckon so.
And they've been doing it for a longer than the herding dogs. I just now realized.
Yeah.
Because would you say the herding dogs were 600 or
1500s? Middle Ages.
Middle Ages. Yeah. Okay. And we know that the Mastiffs were guarding in 600 BC?
Centuries BC.
6th century BC. So next time you pass by a Mastiff, pat him on the head and tell him how much you like him. Otherwise, he'll take you out.
He probably will.
So, we'll come up with something good for next week. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope there's some information someone can use.
Yes, sir.
And the next time someone tells you your dog can't do protection training, no matter what the breed, get a copy of that little clip I have on the Facebook page today. I think I'll put it up on YouTube. Carry that around with you in your phone and see. Ask that trainer if he can train that. Whoops, we got one more question, Caroline.
No, second one just said, thanks, y'all.
Oh, someone said that. Oh, hey, second. Hey, Troy.
Well,
Gentlemen, good night.
see you next week.